tonight. Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends. Doc and Prof going to go over the Super Bowl aftermath. What do we do now? Follow up on some NBA drama, including the always famous LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks, and that oh so great GM Phil Jackson. We'll also be looking at the one and done rule, and some kid scored 90-something points in the game. Everybody talking about it, so of course Doc and Prof are going to talk about it as well. And we're going to finish up with the road to WrestleMania starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to Debates Among Friends. Live on Mixlr and on Facebook. You can catch us on iTunes, YouTube, and Twitter. This is the 38th edition of this podcast. We're happy you decided to join us on this Wednesday night. I am known as the Professor John Gotti, and always by my side, writing the prescriptions that you need because you're the patients that he wants. It's the doctor. Doctor, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir, and I am so ready for this debate.
And we have a pretty stacked show, so if it's all right with you, sir, I say let's get straight into it.
Let's do it, Bobby.
We had probably one of the biggest comebacks in all of Super Bowl history happen.
Don't call it a comeback.
In which the New England Patriots, first of all, hashtag Dr. Got Reads.
He does.
Managed to come back from 25 down to defeat the NFC champion Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51. To say that this was a good game would be an understatement, sir. This game was epic. It had the drama that we desired because the season was a joke fest. I mean, words can't really describe, the shift in momentum. I know we talked about in the aftermath of, our post-game show immediately after the Super Bowl live on Facebook, how the Falcons defense just got tired. They just look so weary out there. It's like someone give them a cup of Gatorade or something. Or maybe even a gallon. I mean, Doc, what happened?
I mean, really, they just burnt out, honestly. One moment we were good, and then the next moment they weren't good. And I think ultimately that's why we have the aftermath here that we're going to definitely discuss. But, I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. Tom Brady, obviously the GOAT now. You can't put anything past him. I mean, no great wide receivers. Some great route runners, some great players. I mean, I think they had Hollywood Hogan out there catching and running routes. You had Julian, don't you call me LL Cool J, Julian Washington Edelman out there.
Oh my gosh.
And then you just had Tom Terrific out there just really throwing great passes. And this is really without Martellus Bennett really doing anything crazy good.
This is true.
Really, they just went out there and beat them. But as much as they got beat, I would also say that the Falcons let them off the hook.
I was going to say, I think the Falcons more so beat themselves than got defeated.
It was really, really terrible.
Because
I really
don't
even know what to say.
They owned the entire first half. The whole
I hate
first half, they owned it.
I hate to say it, but
that they can say as an excuse. And granted, the head coach said that they wasn't going to shift their defensive scheme, and by all means, he's the head coach. That's why he gets paid for it. But if you're seeing, now we have to call him Tom Terrific, as you like to say, Tom Terrific march down the field over and over again, and the Atlanta Falcons defense just took it in the face over and over again.
That was really crazy.
At that point, it is time to shift gears on the defensive front. It's completely time. Like, it's not
There's
Vader time. It's just time to switch it up.
there is one excuse that I can provide the Atlanta Falcons. Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
And
Lady
what's that?
Gaga.
Oh
Lady
my gosh!
Gaga.
Oh, I'm so sorry, folks. Chris, let's cut the show early. We don't want
the
to get sued.
girl, the girlhood dream that became a reality came
Oh my
down.
gosh.
Didn't it look like a Montreal screw job? I mean, even though that was a different pay per view, I mean, it really might as well really have been bulked into one.
I mean, you did kind of compare this one to the Ravens versus 49ers game. The whole blackout scenario.
But see, in this situation, it was different because this was a metaphorical blackout, because what they did was they opened up the roof. And I even told this to one of my coworkers. I said, well, this is Lady Gaga's fault because she had all these pyro left the building.
Hilarious.
The momentum left the building. Um, and you could see it in the eyes of the Patriots that they were hungry. They were lions and they were ready to really proceed further.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to blame Lady Gaga. That's the only excuse I can really give them. I can't give them anything else. That's all they're getting from me.
I mean, for me, I'm more of the X's and O's, I guess. For me, it was just a breakdown. Like, they just lost it. They had it. It was in the palm of their hands. Social media was already crowning them champions. And they lost it. I mean, you can say it was Lady Gaga. I can probably respect that. But, I mean, if they lost it, they lost it.
Well, I mean, if you go back to the actual, obviously, I chose the Patriots for a reason.
Hilarious.
But, under no circumstance would I have imagined that they would have won that game.
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those situations where the Patriots, it really was Bill Belichick. And I posted a picture, and I can definitely post that in the chat for the people. Once I saw him doing this on the sidelines, I knew it was going to be a long day. It wasn't going to go away. It wasn't going to be an easy, hey, we're going to just lose. Bill Belichick was on the sideline. He was going out there, and you could see him. You could see him writing his little notes. And I was sitting there, and I was like, oh man, like Bill. Who knows what Bill is doing right now? Bill is about to do something epic and really crazy. And when they came out of halftime, you could literally see the fire. Like, he might have yelled at everybody individually as they came into the tunnel, and then yelled at them again as they left the tunnel, because everybody was fired up.
I mean, I'd be fired up too. I'd be fired up too.
If you got yelled at, basically.
Yeah. I'm like, he gonna yell at me? Did you not see what I did out there? Well, you didn't do enough. Oh, really? All right.
Oh, really? Yeah, exactly. So, in a nutshell, they lost, obviously. The Falcons have to try again next year. And I posed a question out, during our Super Bowl post-game show. Hopefully the Falcons don't take the dive that the Carolina Panthers took.
Oh, my gosh.
Because that was a really rough one. And, hopefully it just doesn't happen.
I mean, Total Pro Sports, shout out to them, by the way, for giving me a lot of interesting things to post out on social media. They put out there, and it was pretty interesting, the top 10 Super Bowl winning teams that shouldn't have won. And one of them was actually the Denver Broncos against your Carolina Panthers. Well, I mean, they're not your Carolina Panthers, but you do live in that state.
Right. I'm glad you clarified that. I'm glad you clarified that. But you don't think they're saying that the Broncos shouldn't have beat the Panthers, or the Panthers should have never made it?
The Panthers should have beaten the Broncos. That's what they said. That was their claim. So it's
Mm,
interesting that whole shift in dynamics and whatnot. But you know,
well, the Panthers' defense, led by Luke Kuechly, of course, um, they're great, but obviously they had holes. They have even more holes now that Josh Norman is gone.
this is true.
But their offense lacked that true playmaker. And the one thing that I always got confused when talking about the Panthers is I never understood why they waited till after they got rid of Steve Smith to draft another wide receiver in the first round when they really should have drafted a receiver while he was there. Um, it doesn't really make any sense. So that's the one thing I always had a problem with is that they never really went out there and brought in the necessary help. Even losing D'Angelo Williams to the Steelers, they never really replaced these guys, and I think they're going to have a lot of building to do with the offensive line and so on and so forth. So
Well,
we'll
speaking
see what
of
happens.
building, I mean, I think I mentioned this on the post game, but if the NFL decided to pull an NBA back in the day and hand the MVP to someone who did not win the championship, Julio Jones is a beast.
But isn't Julio Jones who you thought he was, though?
He really is, but the problem is the way that the Falcons play and the market and the lack of fan support and all this other stuff that I could list down for you people. He's a
I
beast.
mean,
It was well worth making those trades to get him that high up in the draft.
but you think that the fans, and I mean, I see, the stadium's pretty sold out for the most part. I mean, they did pretty well.
Says the team that had to pipe in crowd noise.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor. I mean, when you're trying to be like
I don't
Seattle,
know. I mean, I read
obviously.
a couple of articles from some reliable source, ESPN, our boys at Bleacher Report.
But that would be
are you saying that Debates Among Friends' main benefactor of information, Bleacher Report, is wrong?
LeBron James would say they're wrong.
Well, LeBron James would say that anyone's wrong, but people would take that as good as gold. In fact, someone can crap in someone, and he can crap in someone's hand, and they can say that's gold right there too. But that's besides the point.
Oh my God, I got gold.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, but no, I don't know about that. I just think that they just want the advantage of having a loud crowd, and not every crowd is as loud. And really, it also comes down to stadium design too.
It
You
is
got to keep
stadium
that in
design.
mind.
Yes, because Kansas
Which is
City
why,
is
right.
probably the best place in the NFL when it comes to crowd noise, natural, and raising the decibels.
Decibels, yeah. And I mean, again, I think that's why they're building a new stadium in Atlanta for that very purpose, to really get that feel, that loud crowd, and I'm sure that new stadium is going to deliver that to them.
Oh, absolutely.
But we'll definitely see what happens with that. Now, there were some notable things after the game that I wanted to bring to your attention. I guess the aftermath of Super Bowl this past weekend. Number one, so apparently James White lost a game-winning ball.
Well, he's not the only one who lost something.
I know, and that was next. How do you lose your jersey?
I mean, to take it back to our high school days, and that's gonna age ourselves, but we're not gonna do that tonight, folks. It was a weekend of #snatchies.
Wow.
And oops.
Wow.
Because Tom Brady had gotten his jersey stolen.
I mean, how do you a jersey?
And it became national news.
Yeah, because James White losing the ball has really been nothing,
it has been nothing.
But that jersey is a really big deal. I'm looking at a report that says that the Houston police chief is on the hunt for this missing jersey. It's like, who stole the cookies out of the cookie jar right now?
I mean, I
But
got
I
nothing.
also see here the aftermath. Obviously, Tom Brady, the GOAT, now winning his fifth Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. You
Yep.
know, a lot of people are saying, hey, maybe he should hang it up, including his wife, Giselle, who wants to
Uh,
touch him more than he gets sacked in the whole season.
okay, this is still a
Uh,
PG show. We're gonna have to cut you off right there, Chris. Chris, where is our bleeps? Okay, because right there, that whole line right there should have been bleeped off. Okay, we gotta
yeah,
do it
but
for the
she wants.
children. It's for the children.
I'm sorry, Beavis. I'm sorry. But he wants to. She wants him to retire. He's having a lot of fun out there. The Patriots are saying they're going to give him another 2 to 3 year contract.
Hmm.
I mean, what in the world?
I
And maybe
mean,
it's the fact that Tom Brady got hurt a couple years ago. He got that year off. You know what would have happened to him? You know, basically it happened already. So he's pretty healthy. He doesn't get hit a lot. So I mean, what happens
absolutely. I
now?
mean, over under Tom Brady plays another 3 years.
I'm going to say even.
Even. I like that. I will definitely say I'm gonna go under. I think it's gonna be an AFC team, and he's gonna get rocked enough to where he might be out. And I know PTI mentioned this earlier today. They said that he's gonna be maybe 2 years. He's gonna get rocked. He's gonna be gone for like a couple of games. Come back the next season because he didn't play it 2.5 years. But then find out that Belichick's just gonna cut him because there's no nostalgia in New England. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see it.
I mean, but let's keep going with this aftermath stuff. I mean, we had big news come out. Big news on the team that just couldn't cut the mustard. The Atlanta Falcons not only lost their offensive coordinator, who's going to be the new head coach where?
For the 49ers.
All right. And just recently, breaking news. Well, I mean, it was breaking news a few days ago, but you know.
Sure.
Breaking news for
Sure.
Days Among Friends, god dang. We also posted it up there. At the Base Among Friends on our Twitter. At TLW, at Kid86. That the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons has been let go, relieved of his duties, and
Relieved of his duties. That's a better way to put it. Because they're saying he might be moved. So he didn't get fired. He might just get demoted.
yeah,
We'll say that.
I
We'll say he's
mean,
getting demoted.
it's gonna be. I feel like it's just more than him.
Well, Brian Cox, the defensive line coach, the former linebacker for the New York Jets, as many people may know, and the New England
Yep.
Patriots, I believe it was. He has been, now he may be relieved of his duties. He might be fired without question. Even though the defensive line played great for the Falcons for the most of the game, even in the end.
Didn't they get like 5 sacks on Tom Brady?
Yeah, they were
Like
playing very
they
well.
did their jobs.
They really did.
It was the
Everyone,
linebackers and the
really everyone
DBs.
else. Everyone else. The defensive line did what they were
They
supposed to do.
did what they need to do against a pretty high octane offensive line of the Patriots. Like they did their jobs.
Right. They shut down the run. They got a good pass
really
rush
did
down.
shut down the run. There's really not a whole lot of running. And you know,
Maybe.
if you're wrong about that, if y'all have the stats for the amount of rushing yards that the Patriots did on Super Bowl Sunday, we would love to hear it. But I don't think they gotten as much as the eye test might believe compared to
I
the
agree.
Falcons.
I agree. And, another thing that's interesting is Dan Quinn is a defensive guy.
Yes.
So he could easily just take over the defense and just say, you know what, skip this. I don't know why I delegated this. I'm just going to do it myself. You know what I mean? It's easy for him to just say, hey, I'm going to do this myself.
Yep.
As a new head coach, you probably sit there and you say, I'm going to delegate this. I'm going to let somebody else handle it. But in this situation where they probably weren't executing to the ability that he would have had them execute,
Hmm.
he probably wants to take over himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But the one thing I did find interesting, speaking of the Super Bowl aftermath, and the young Shanahan now going to the 49ers, is the 49ers also went ahead and got Kyle Shanahan. They got John Lynch, which was really, really interesting.
Controversial. That was controversial.
Absolutely.
Especially given the whole Rooney Rule issues and things like that. And, I mean, people put the comparison to Jason Kidd getting hired.
Yeah.
I'm kind of juggling with that one.
And then, with Kyle Shanahan leaving, what does Atlanta do but bring in Sarkisian from Alabama to replace him?
Yep.
So this is really impact. So this Super Bowl is really impacting the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Atlanta Falcons, and the 49ers here, who really just lost Lane Kiffin at the same time, which is crazy. You lose Lane Kiffin and Sarkisian at the same time. What is Alabama going to do? But that's for another story.
That is another story.
The one thing is Chip Kelly could make a return to college football as the Alabama offensive coordinator.
I think that would be insanely awesome.
Especially with that young quarterback. I think that would be great. I would love it. I would love it. But I know the show must go on.
Shout outs to Queen. But NBA news. We have to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it.
You know you want to talk about it.
I really don't. It's
Come on.
To the point to where it almost makes me want to throw up to keep talking about it.
Can't believe you went there again. Every week you see me
Oh my gosh. But seriously though, it really does make me want to throw up because it's just...
Nah, I definitely understand. I get it.
I don't see an end to it. It's more of a will to the minds now.
So really we have to wait. Really, we just have to wait till LeBron retires. And I think I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. Once LeBron retires, I think...
I feel like it's the same way with frickin' WWE and whether or not the content's going to get better after Vince McMahon, kicks the bucket.
Yeah, because he's not handing it over to anyone anytime soon. But he works out pretty hard, so I don't know if he's gonna, he might live for a long time.
Yeah, all that working out also leads to heart attacks too. Just saying.
This is true. This is true. But I mean, he's strengthening hard. Hopefully, he didn't get too deep. Hopefully, he didn't get too deep into the steroids back in the day. That seems to be mighty controversial.
That's not the subject we need to talk about. Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson has been. It's not really so much that they've been clashing words against each other. It's more Phil Jackson's trying to do something. Many analysts spoke of how Phil Jackson tries to motivate his star players to rise to the occasion by, projecting negative feedback towards them, towards their play, their willingness to compete on both ends of the floor, being the team leader in the locker room, leading by example. But Phil's not a coach anymore.
Right.
In fact,
and I really think honestly think that. Go ahead.
Phil doesn't even go to the away games. Heck, he's barely even at the home games. So, how do you motivate from so far away? And we talked about this for business. How do you motivate when you don't put yourself in the trenches? Phil was in the trenches. He's not in the trenches now.
Well, the one thing I would say is number one, Phil Jackson is trying to turn Carmelo into Michael Jordan.
Not going to happen. They should stop it right now.
Number two.
If people get upset about...
Hold on. Number two.
Hold on. Let me just say this real quick.
No.
If
don't
people
say
get
it.
upset about...
If
people allow LeBron James to get upset about his comparison to Michael Jordan, you can't expect that from Carmelo Anthony. But keep going.
The next one.
Keep going.
Number two.
Oh my gosh.
Phil wants Melo to be Kobe Bryant. Oh. Do you understand what I'm saying? Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were fierce competitors.
I feel like
Melo is not a fierce competitor.
I really feel like we've spoken about this before. I feel like on the tip of my tongue that the that the Gotti has spoken about this many a times.
Probably have, and you probably get sick to your stomach, and probably makes you want to leave the room because you're gonna throw up. But
Basically, we just want to walk down the street and start sweet kidding people.
hey, you buddy, what's your name exactly? But I think that's the problem, and I think really the ultimate problem is, as you so eloquently stated, Phil Jackson's not coaching.
He's not coaching.
You can't ask Jeff Hornacek to be you. You know what I mean?
There's no such thing. And the closest to that is Steve Kerr.
Right, exactly. You'd had to go dig up Ron Harper or somebody. You know,
Oh my gosh, Luke Longley.
Longley, exactly. Bill Winnington or somebody.
Yes.
You know, which I really always believed, and this is just my opinion. Even though he probably wouldn't have ran the triangle, he probably would have been better fit for two coaches that would have been better fit for the Knicks at this particular point. Patrick Ewing, clear choice. As I think Patrick Ewing, exactly. Patrick Ewing could have worked with Porzingis, exactly.
Which would be heavenly.
Right, it would have been beautiful, you know. And then lastly, you know, one of a coach that was controversially fired last year, Kevin McHale.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I thought he was gonna go Derek Fisher. I'm like, what? Get out the studio. Security, get him out the studio right now.
But see, Derek Fisher, you've been there, done that, and there's no discredit to him because you're really working with the same people. You know, it's just really you had young people last year, so this year Phil went out and got older people. You know what I mean? It's like you had young guards, now you got an older guard. You know, I mean, he's trying different ways, but at one point you have to realize that, hey, Carmelo is no Jordan. He's no LeBron. He's no Kobe. Heck, he's not even a D Wade.
LeBron's not even a LeBron. How about that? For controversy?
Oh my God! Here we go. LeBron used to be LeBron, but now he's not.
LeBron is who we thought he was.
No, he's definitely grown though. I mean, obviously he's gotten better and better over time. I'll give him credit. He did get better and better because before he had no jump shot. He literally had to drive the lane.
He had no jump shot.
Yeah,
like his jump shot is comparison to, you know, some of the people that we used to play ball with who know they're not good, but would be, you know, stating certain things from distance.
Allah, Peja.
Oh my goodness! I wasn't gonna go there.
I had to go there.
Oh my gosh!
Poor Peja Stojakovic. Have his name dragged all the way to the gutter in the mud. But I think once Phil gets over that fact, once Phil gets over the fact that he's not these people, he'll be able to move on. And honestly, any trade that doesn't involve anybody really good is just a dumb thing. I would just keep him on the roster.
Ever. And it'll cause me to go down to Madison Square Garden and sit down with James Dolan.
He's not going to go back to Denver, you know, no matter what. But, I mean, all the trades that I've seen, him going to the Clippers for Austin Rivers, I mean, come on.
That's just blasphemous.
Yeah. That's just dumb. Then you're talking about, you know.
Like, right now, they're teetering on the edge of losing their entire fan base if they do something that dumb.
Absolutely. You would have to get, like, if you traded for Austin Rivers, you would have to get the Cavaliers, because the Cavaliers are also talking about not giving up Kevin Love.
Yep.
You'd have to get the Cavaliers first round picks for the next 10 years. The Clippers, next 10 years. You know what I mean? Because
which doesn't really help out, especially, the window is closing, but, I mean, it doesn't really help out now.
For the next 5 to 10 years, they're basically in the championship.
And then all of a sudden, the Knicks turn into the 76ers, and instead of them drafting all big men, they draft all freaking point guards.
Which, you know, looking back on it, I mean, now looking back at the 76ers and they're actually competing, it makes sense. Obviously, they're trying to trade away one of the bigs, either Nerlens Noel or Okafor, which they should have never drafted Okafor. That's what their mistake was, drafting Okafor. Noel, I was good with. Embiid, we were good. Okafor, that's where we were like, yeah, because I think maybe they thought that Embiid was going to be the new Greg Oden, and they got scared. That's the only thing I can think of. They got scared. They watched, you know, Greg Oden come in, injury plagued, but it's a completely different situation. And I'm glad that Embiid's carrying them right now. He's really playing very well. Um, but what do you think about this whole idea of LeBron's saga between him saying and not saying? And you could say this is media baiting if you like. I did not say trade Kevin Love for Carmelo.
No comment.
Okay.
No comment. I honestly don't want to talk about this whole Melo thing anymore. I really don't. Let's talk about James Harden. Oh gosh, we're talking about the Rockets.
Exactly. I'm good with it. We're actually looking to go after, which I'm not really too sure about, is Serge Ibaka. Because it really just depends on who we're giving up. That's what the rumor is, that we're going after Serge Ibaka.
Well, if the rumors are true, they're talking about Westbrook joining the Rockets soon.
Which would be crazy. We would have to give up everything. And again, I'm not interested in giving up everything. Russell Westbrook and James Harden would be phenomenal again together.
Just like your favorite wrestler of all time.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Because I know it's going to involve giving up Eric Gordon, giving up Sam Decker, giving up all these players.
Who you not like?
I just really want to get rid of Corey Brewer. Why can't we just trade Corey Brewer?
Because no one wants him.
God.
And I told you that. I've been told you that. I told you that off the podcast.
I hope we trade him to the Knicks.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of things that disgust us even further, the long-standing trend of one-and-done basketball players entering the league. That means they spend 1 year in college to basically not really hone their craft, but to build their brands. And after they finish, they go to declare for the draft. Now, we have a couple of them that excelled at, playing professional ball, but there's so many others that just were shadows of who they were. Their hype was just, that's what it was. It was just hype. There was no bite to the bark, Doctor.
Well, when this list originally came out on February 6th from Bleacher Report, it was the All-NBA
team. Are you sure it's not true? Because, you kind of was controversial earlier.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no comment, because that's just not my style. But, I mean, it definitely changed the whole aspect of the game. And some people made it. Some people took much longer to make it. And some people, well, they just couldn't get right. Yep. But when Josh Martin, the NBA lead writer for Bleacher Report, released the story, I was sitting there getting ready for work, and oh God, I sat there and I said, "Let me read this and see what's going on with it." And the first name that popped up, which when this draft happened a couple years ago, I knew that these kids should have stayed in Kentucky. The Harrison twins.
I was just about to go there because you was really high on them.
Both. Him, and some of the other guys, Scal, Labissiere, all those guys. But the person that people are really dogging right now, Brandon Ingram. People are dogging him. They don't know what he is. They don't know if he's good. They don't know if he's bad. They don't know anything.
I think
he's looking like the beat out there. He looks like the beat.
Oh my gosh! No, there's no the beat. There's only one the beat.
He's looking like the beat out there. 28% from three, 35.9 from the field, 1.5 assist to turnover ratio.
I love some stats.
He's just not good right now. He should have stayed at Duke under Coach K, played with Grayson Allen. Hey, maybe Grayson Allen isn't out there tripping people. Because,
oh my gosh.
Because Brandon Ingram is, has his sophomore year, with him, and he doesn't have to trip anybody.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe, maybe he'll join the Mavericks and be with your boy Harrison Barnes, the max contract player.
It's your favorite player in the whole league.
No. I said he was a max contract player, and he has not played like that. So,
I think he has. He's the best player on the Mavs right now.
That's because they all stink.
Max contract player.
No.
He would make the Knicks. He would make the Knicks better. Would he not?
I'd rather have a rookie. I'd rather build around KP and get some people through the draft.
Of course you would, but that's not the statement that was made. He would make the Knicks better.
I believe that he'll provide a Linsanity-esque surge, then get injured, and that surge becomes a small spark that fades off into the night.
Disagreeing. That's pink and black trunks right there. You don't want to give the guy credit. He's not a terrible player.
He's not a terrible player.
He's playing great basketball.
Terrible.
He plays great defense. He rebounds. Give the guy a break.
I mean, in all honesty, if he didn't have any issues, mentally off the court, I would love to take Michael Beasley.
He's inconsistent. He's way more inconsistent than Harrison Barnes. Like 19 times more inconsistent. 19 times. And that 19 is me being generous.
Sure it is.
19 times. I mean, look at this. Harrison Barnes is scoring 20 points. He's 20 points per game, 5 rebounds.
And who's the number 2 scorer on the team?
I don't care.
That's the point.
Think about it. He wasn't supposed to come in and be the number 1 scorer on the team, though.
No, he came in to replace Dirk. Let's not try to sit there.
No, everybody knows that Dirk was supposed to be healthy. Let's come back. Come on.
Hey, yo.
Let's not.
Everybody here knows.
Oh my God! I can't believe
the Mavericks signed Harrison Barnes.
Chico. I know. You know, Chico. And even that PA out there knows that Harrison Barnes was going to replace Dirk now.
I don't think so. I think they brought him in as a potential player to fit in with Dirk. That's why they're bringing all these other people to kind of fit in. And it's just not working yet.
Why give him such a big contract? When you give someone that much money, I don't care about the salary cap being extended. Let's take that out the equation. If you give someone, you do need to take that out the equation. Here's why.
You can't really take it out of the equation.
You can, because they kind of lowered that cap coming up too, because that kind of.
I mean, you can't take it out though. I mean, he could have went anywhere and played basketball. He
could have stayed with Golden State.
He could have. Okay. Well, no, they wouldn't have been able to sign KD.
Troy, they would have found a way.
No.
Troy, they would have found a way.
If they would have did that, then they would have lost. They would have lost somebody next year. Remember, they just signed Draymond Green.
I'm sorry. Did the Cavaliers not sign Tristan Thompson and be over the luxury tax, even though that he was asking for a near max contract?
I would say that.
I'm just saying, if
Harrison Barnes deserves the money more than
Golden State. Thank you.
Harrison Barnes deserves more money than Tristan Thompson.
You're finally on page with me.
But you keep saying. So you're saying that Harrison Barnes deserves a max contract then?
I'm saying that Harrison Barnes deserved a near max contract. You said Tristan Thompson didn't deserve the money. I agreed, because I believe that same money is something that Harrison Barnes deserved instead of a max contract with the Mavericks. That's all
what did you think?
That's all I've been saying.
Take, $5 million from him or something? What are you trying to take from him?
I'm trying to take it all. You make the shots. You make. He basically got a max contract for being
potential.
For being a 12th man on a pickup game out in Lincoln Park.
No.
Missing all your threes.
Oh, God.
When they counted. I'm sorry.
This is terrible.
You knew I was going to go there.
It's not that bad.
He got rewarded for playing like a bum on the biggest stage of them all. Come on.
You're making this so much worse than it really is.
Doctor, if it was us, we would feel the same way.
You mean if it was like me or you, or like somebody on our team?
If it was someone on our team that played that terribly, and we could use this one person as the example, but we're not, because,
Why don't you do it?
But let's just say person A.
Why don't you do it? Come on, do it. Do it!
Let's call him E.
No, let's not call him E. Let's call him who it is.
Oh, we gotta keep on.
people who it is.
Shout out to Pedro. That's all I gotta say.
It's terrible.
But speaking of one and done and the high disappointment that it brings to us at Debates Among Friends, brought to you tonight by Stella Twas.
I can't believe you didn't want to say who it was.
We're just gonna keep on going. We're just gonna keep trucking along.
Oh my god.
So I mentioned this before we started the podcast that in the world of WWE we had a lot of part-timers return at the Rumble.
We did.
And a potential main event for the WrestleMania will be Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg.
Right.
Now, the low blow that I mentioned to you, and it's a low blow, folks out there. It's literally like Ric Flair low blow, 30 cent a game kind of low blow. Is the fact that Goldberg may be heading into WrestleMania with the WWE Universal title. Because it's been rumored, and I'm pretty much going to confirm it right now, that Bill Goldberg will beat Kevin Owens for the WWE Universal title at Fastlane.
Fastlane. These pay-per-view titles get more and more ridiculous as time goes on.
Oh, mind you, we just had Fastlane a few months ago. Remember, it was Fastlane ended the line. Just
I thought so. I thought we did.
It was Roadblock. It was Roadblock.
Roadblock.
It all sounds the same. It's all vehicle-based. How about that?
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
that?
ridiculous. But
go ahead.
I understand your point, though. I mean, I know you have a big gripe, and again, debate amongst friends, we like grapes. We don't like gripe. You have a big gripe with the part-timers like John Cena and Undertaker now at this point in his career. Heck, even Chris Jericho. I mean, even though he's doing full-time hours, he's on his way.
He's actually the most entertaining person in wrestling right now in WWE.
And it's funny because he's really doing his old stuff. It's really nothing new.
Is.
But that's what we love, especially me. I love the old stuff.
And it's not as much as the old stuff. It's he's doing the old stuff, but is adding a Devenir Francois to it.
Is it the scarf? Is that what you're talking about? The scarf?
No.
That's the only thing you can talk about. The scarf.
It's the way. It's his ability to connect to the fans, and that's why WWE has created this handicap to continually bring on these part-timers, because the part-timers will connect with the older crowd,
right?
Because that's what we grew up on. And they'll connect with the younger crowd because the older crowd is telling them, yeah, this is Bill Goldberg. He was the man. Yeah.
He was the man. It looks like you're like doing me.
But
you're being me.
But for me, I'm looking at it as you need to allow these younger talent. And most of these people aren't even young.
Why can't you take it this way? So Goldberg beats Kevin Owens, right?
Yep. Boo.
What? Hey, let's see what happens. What if a young up-and-comer, let's say Braun Strowman, beats Goldberg? I'm not saying, hey, send...
Are you talking about Mania? Because that's not happening.
I could see a triple threat or like a four-way match or something. Braun Strowman,
gosh.
Goldberg, Roman Reigns.
Oh, no!
That's how it would be. That's how it would be. Unless you just want another...
You know what I'm going to do?
Unless you want Brock Lesnar. I don't
want neither.
But that's all you get. That's all you got. You got choices.
Why,
these are your choices.
Why not let Kevin Owens have his main event? Why not let him have his main event?
Versus who?
Versus anyone.
It's going to be Roman. If that's
a
the case.
Returning Finn Balor would be insane. A Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe match.
Not happening.
But what I'm saying is, give it the chance. Because if we keep getting these recyclable matches with these old geezers who's going to die in the ring...
You keep saying give it a chance, and you're not thinking about the actual song here. The song is called No Chance. Okay?
Oh my God.
No Chance.
He was there.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. No
No
chance in
chance in
hell.
hell.
You
Okay.
understand? Like, that's the song.
No, and I get that, but and you agree with me on some aspects of it.
Some aspects,
How can
absolutely,
you
of course.
how can you get your younger talent over if you don't push them enough? If you give them badly scripted stuff to speak of, and we talked about that with like Dean Ambrose,
Hmm.
because you saw a huge difference from when he's reading off of a script and you said that he's just completely wacky
I hate it.
to when he's doing the shoot promo, which you said it was pretty much gold. Like they can do it, but they keep putting them in this little tiny little ball in the palm of their hands. You know, one try to slip out. No, no, no. Take my thumb, push you back in there. No, you're not supposed to go out there. Just stick with what we tell you to do. And
Honestly, I don't know.
that's where we end up getting 2014.
I mean, again, I really, really don't know what they're gonna do because there's so many different people who, have an opportunity to be great. I think SmackDown has a lot of potential.
The
Raw, on the
SmackDown
other
has
hand,
the best when it comes to
'cause
stories.
I really think it's time for like the Luke Harpers, the Bray Wyatts.
Yes,
I think they need a chance, but on Raw,
it's
you
the same
put
old, same old. We
yeah,
had
you
Kevin
put
Owens versus Roman Reigns for like the 365th time.
and then you add Braun Strowman, but I think
Or it's
it's
Roman
like
Reigns versus Chris Jericho, or it's Seth Rollins against Chris Jericho, or Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, or a tag team match, holla holla, player player.
uh oh.
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Jericho.
Oh man, can't believe you went there. But honestly, I think also that one of your favorite wrestlers, Sami Zayn, also isn't getting the push that
Yes.
you feel he deserves.
Sami Zayn is
Even
getting the
though
Dolph Ziggler treatment.
I don't like it. I'm not really a ginormous fan of him. That haluva kick it's not haluva.
Hey, it's better than the Styles Clash.
Oh, I hate when you do that.
Yep, I went there.
I'm gonna take notes like Bill Belichick in a second. That's ridiculous. I can't believe you went there. You can't go there.
Am
You
I
can't
wrong?
do this to me.
Am
You
I
can't do
wrong
this
though?
to me.
The people want to
can't
know.
do this to me.
They are screaming in my ears. They said, "Doctor, answer the question. We want to know the facts. We deserve the truth."
No comment. No comment.
Oh man, that
But I think
right there is the greatest thing you have ever seen. But to conclude this though, to keep having these part timers main event these huge shows like a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania, especially WrestleMania, you'll never get these people over. Never.
True.
It won't happen.
This is true.
And
I
then
agree.
when these part timers won't be able to wrestle anymore, now what you gonna do? You're gonna stuff Roman
That-
Reigns in our face?
I think
not
that's why you
working
have
right
to
now.
get them over with these part timers. Like you have to. And I mean, I don't want to see Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker.
I don't want to see Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar for the title.
I don't either.
Especially
Brock will
since,
probably win.
of course he's gonna win, but I don't care about it. The last time Brock Lesnar did something relevant was when he beat the Streak. That's it.
And that
That's
was even
about
stupid.
it.
But that was stupid too.
It's not just stupid. It's headache-inducing.
It's really dumb. And I think that's the headache part. Because it literally didn't mean anything. It meant nothing. But I don't want to continue because I know we got a great song tonight, but we also have some final comments. I know you wanted to go over some updates from Generosity.
Yes.
Hit them with the good news. Prof. Tell them, Prof.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the people in the FGC loves to say, and I love to say this line as well too, it's Marvel, baby! Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is still leading. I believe the donation competition is currently over. So it looks like the 9th game of Evolution 2017 will be Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 with a whopping $71,690 of donation. out of 1,487 donors. A very
That's really
close
crazy.
second, which shocked the doctor, was Pokken Tournament with $66,906 of donation of 744 donors. So people were shelling out big cash for that.
And I just read, it is indeed over. Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3
Hashtag
is the
Marvel
winner.
lives.
Yeah. It does also say that in the esports community that Evo will be donating $10,000 to support Pokken tournaments, though, throughout 2017,
Yep.
just to make sure that that particular community doesn't feel left out. So we're all good for Evo. Then we're all set.
Absolutely.
All
Doctors,
games have
your
been
final
chosen.
thought.
Well, I mean, the one thing that I felt was kind of ridiculous, and again, we are no political podcast whatsoever, but I hate the fact that I've heard people say that they felt like Trump won all over again when the Patriots won. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Trolling and
That's so
the
dumb to
part
me.
that gets me upset about reading the news and.
Well, see, this had nothing to do with the news. Actually, somebody at my job said she didn't watch the game because she felt she would get that same feeling again. And I felt that was really crazy. Really, really crazy because it's football, people. It's
It is
football.
Anything can happen. Minus,
anything can
that
happen.
one Steelers Super Bowl where the referees were put the fix in, but that's besides the point.
But that's all I thought it was a little crazy. And then Martellus Bennett not going to the White House, which, I mean, we all knew that he would do that. But that is it from me, sir. Another great show. I definitely appreciate the people joining us. And I know we have a sweet track. What track do we have here, Professor?
Tonight's track is in tribute to the song producer, Nujabes. His birthday was yesterday. He would have been 43 years old. Highly impactful in the music community, and his music still lives on today. This track is lyricized by an artist named Shingo2, and is the 5th part of the Love 6 series. There are 6 parts to it. We'll put out a link to the track on YouTube after the show, but listen to it, enjoy it, and also shout out to my manager out there who recently lost someone very close as well too. So I am the Professor John Gotti,
And I'm Dr. Wednesday Night himself.
and we'll catch you again next time, folks. Peace and love.
Deuces.
Everything is quiet.
Till death do part and it did. Comes on like clouds and it hit my soul. My truth heavier than imagine. The lid die cast and let on the lies we nursed and the days we cherished as kids. When the winds on by, but when I rewind, your smile is the only thing that comes to mind. Your smile is the only thing that shines. In your last breath you told me that you had to go, cause it pained you so. Oh, I loved you so much, so was it selfish to hold on and cling on to your body that holds a soul that wanted to set free the eagle in the cage, and you became eagerly what I wanted to be. You're the person to leave, I'm the person to see off another best friend that lands in. I watch grown men moaning, women weep as you quietly descended 6 feet deep, by the spirit ascended. Before wet eyes, a gift from God return to sender. Though I like pretend that this never happened, I can turn around and see you laughing, but the fact is you could never practice. Game blindsided and in the windshield, and let's feel the shards of glass. This too shall pass, but reality bites us, that's not so fast. First you must climb a Calvary of shattered hopes, and then a mountain of prayers unheard, till you reach the peak where you can see the dark abyss below. Then you let me know if you have have what it takes for a leap of faith. I had to say hell no, heaven just but not yet, please. Bless the forehead, cold in the bed, or alone on the road with nobody to hold. When the pouring rain is too much to bear, it's a reason to live for a seed that needs care till death do us part, and it did. Come sun like clouds and it hit much sun. Your truth heavier than imaginary, die cast and lead on the lives we nursed and the days we cherished as kids. We let them win some by, but when I rewind, your smile is the only thing that comes to mind. Your smile is the only thing that shines.
Thank you very kindly, my friend. In the world.
The sounds you only remember now. All of them fading away. All of them fading away.
Now I hit the stage in honor of you. How's the other side? I bet it's a splendid view. No more stress for rent or to make ends. Collide in the cocktail shame with envy. I can hide behind lens that block the UV. Looking in from the outside, the bowl is murky. The toll for the bridge is rising. Where the man says Storm City Hall is burning. Same old chaos. Gotta shut myself like I'm waiting to take off. On the runway, scoping out the window. The moisture covers the sight door. Telling myself it's just another day in the life of a starving artist. Trying to paint a dream you walk from, chasing the departed. We used to hang by the bank to see who can skip a stone the farthest. What I thought was a stream is now an ocean. No such thing as an extreme to show devotion to your craft, which I didn't know the half. Try to knock down your door and cut the backdraft in the whiplash, all in reverse. Then I finally stood